Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome back to Divine Right of Kings. It's so good to see everyone. Goodness, how did we like our encounter with the Maw last week?
It was pretty bad, but then the cool guys came from the sky, and that was pretty sick.
I ate more of it than it ate of me, so that was a success.
Yeah!
Ken was
Really,
having a
it's a
good
sliding
time.
scale of war. That's how you count conflict with the Maw.
Yeah.
Bastion didn't die. None of his friends died. None of his teammates died. We don't know if any of his friends died yet.
Yeah. Pen
I'll
was
put
having a
that fun
good
thought out
time.
there.
He was expecting the
manifesting
entire
that.
team to die, but he was having a good time.
Don't manifest that.
Oh. Well. So yeah, we find our lancers after the albatross lands, sort of puts up this cordon of distortion, and the honored wing. We have much to discuss as the cordon sort of stabilizes and fans out around you. We have much to discuss. I apologize. I am Honored Wing Burkut, and all of you. I know it has been troubled, and I apologize for the speed of our response.
You showed up just in the nick of time.
He sort of like chuckles to himself and he says, "It always does seem to be that way, does it not?"
And you crushed a guy, and that was so cool.
I'm sure that this situation appears to have more complications in it than I had considered. So, I believe it is time we took tea. We took coffee and held a council.
That sounds good. Do I have time to contact some people first?
You can try. You want to try to contact people?
Yeah, I would like to try and at least reach the people at the spaceport. So, like, reach out to Nathan.
No reception.
Oh, that's so cool.
All communications in the city are fried so that they can keep that wall up.
Fuck. Okay, that's neat.
Can I ask real quick, last we heard, what was the House of Kings, honor guard doing?
Unclear.
Unclear, okay.
Bastion had tried to rally them, but it didn't seem like that was an option.
Okay, and all we knew that
Percy?
there was, they were on the new, move generically. We don't know where to or to what end.
They appear to be. They appear to be holding a cordon here.
Okay.
Honored Wing is going to say the Honored Wing is they're holding a cordon here around this structure.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are abandoning large sections of the city, so hopefully we can use that.
We have set up a forward base here. Please, if you have allies, you can gather them here. And the Honored Wing is going to just hold out one of his arm, and these three drones that are kind of shaped like falcons are gonna sort of extend and set his arm. He says, I apologize for the disruption in communications. We can at least send missives. We can at least send 3 missives now. Who do you wish to reach first?
I need to know where Elizaveta is.
Yeah, 100% one of those should go to that.
One of them should definitely go to the spaceport.
Yeah, I also like that idea.
Third?
Do we want to go and try to communicate either with Percy or just get eyes on what the House Guard is doing?
I would love to. I would love to communicate with Percy. If everyone's okay with that, that would be really great for.
Very specifically with like eyes on getting control of the House Guard situation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that would be good.
Does everybody like this idea, or?
Yeah, I think that those three are the best call.
Yeah.
I love this. And he's going to send this out, and he says, he's going to say, I will see you there shortly. We have facilities to help you repair and recuperate.
Thank you. I do just want to make sure, is part of our plan trying to keep the spaceport open right now?
We will hold the line as best we can. I will speak with you later.
Alright.
And it's a little unclear what that tone is from behind from within the giant metal mech. It's a little unclear what the tone is when he says that he'll talk with you later. But you know what it's almost certainly about, Almo.
Mm-hmm.
Team, where do you want to go? Do you want to head straight to recovery and try to repair as fast as possible in case something happens? Do you want to go anywhere on foot? It's going to be hard, right? Because a bunch of our transit is fucked.
Mechanically, what is going to repair mean?
Oh, we're going to do the repair action.
Okay, but it is just
going
a
to
short
take
repair?
us like half to a quarter of the game time as it usually does.
Okay. But I just want to confirm that is like a short repair?
Yeah.
Okay.
So does anyone have someplace they would like to visit before they do that repair?
I mean, Backman wants to go run to the spaceport.
There is a question about the general situation I have.
Yeah.
You said our comms are down. Does that mean we've lost satellite imaging?
It's gonna be hard.
Okay.
But it seems like this is like right because this is an environment that the Albatross has set up, so they likely have some sort of solution for that.
Would I possibly be able to spend my if we're saying we have like a potential action prior to resting, could I try to spend my action breaking through that with a roll?
Sure. Sure.
Is there anything specific that you'd need from imaging?
Oh, I was just going to. There was talk of the House Guard, and if not pinpointing their location, even from orbit, heavy kinetic weapons fire, you can kind of see the flashes from it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if we'd also just get an idea of what's happening generally with the maw, that wouldn't be bad.
I mean, the other thing is that Paramnesia is doing fine, so Freeze Out could go and physically go someplace while other people are repairing. If other people would be okay with that. I know that he would probably not want to make contact in any way, shape, or form because Duskwing, but he could scoot around. Get eyes on things. Talk, maybe.
It's actually a really good idea.
Yeah. Do we know what on earth the Priests of Titan are doing? Or are they just mobilizing generally?
Unclear.
Okay.
I mean, at the very least, I'm assuming they're going to defend the temple.
Yeah. I doubt much else. At least I
You
hope
could try
not.
and get in contact with Elias. He's going to have a better view. He's going to have, him and Percy, but...
Yeah.
Ooh. And it also occurs to me, actually, if I am spending time doing something, probably instead of hacking to get a satellite image, trying to manage the, ARG network would be better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those folks are at the spaceport.
Yeah, so a lot of the people on the frames are at the spaceport. Have people, the rest of the people who aren't actually going to be on the front line sort of moved back into the city.
I mean, so busted communications, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
But
like
from a
everybody is
little there, it
basically-
sounds like that's what was happening. People were falling back.
Okay.
Um,
And there's no way to get word out to any of them at this point. They're all isolated.
that part of the problem with communications going down that kind of a way.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is that's the sort of the glue that was holding a lot of the pieces of that network together.
Yeah. Okay, there isn't anything I can really do there then. So is it okay if I try to get a satellite image?
Sure.
Okay.
Also,
Hacker text roll?
I will say the Albatross probably have one for you.
Okay. Yeah. Then
Or we'll have one for you at the meeting.
Never mind then. Yeah, I
Also,
suppose I'll
this-
just prepare and head to the meeting.
Yeah.
Is Bastion allowed to go run down to the spaceport
Yes.
in mech?
We love a Nelson jet around.
Yeah.
We love a Nelson jet around. You see these sort of strange twisted frames at the spaceport. You can see that a lot of them were once labor frames, but something is wrong about them.
All right.
Olmo definitely would have briefed you on that whole situation too if you were heading that way, so...
Oh, I mean, I sort of, Bastion had already sort of seen what you guys
You know
have
what's
done
up.
in their garage.
Yeah.
So, sort of knows it probably has something to do with your guys' handiwork.
Olmo would have definitely just assured you, don't worry, all their communication gear's knocked off their tame.
Tame is a very scary word to use.
I mean, it's the right word, but...
We love when a machine is described using creature words to fully
tame?
encapsulate its behaviors.
Are they tame or just declawed? Let's be real here.
Oh, they're not
I
declawed.
think tame, but yeah, declawed is more accurate.
Housebrook?
Scary. I mean, Bastion's gonna go try and run up to probably Nathan and see, like, how. Well, I mean, first he's gonna do a scan of the area to see if all of his friends are there.
Oh yeah, folks are on the spaceport. A couple of them. It looks like Aaron is helping sustain the wall that the Albatross has put up.
Right. I think Bastion's gonna run over and just be like, "Thank God you're all okay."
Hey, Nathan comes over and does just hug your robot with his robot. As you move past the sort of the infected frames, they don't have comm systems, right? So they look at each other and make hand gestures to each other and nod and step back out of the way, and there's sort of a keening, whirring whom noise of sensors
Normal.
actuation.
Normal things. You guys are all okay?
Are we? I mean, okay's a word. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Nobody's injured, nothing like that?
I mean, we got as many people out as we could.
Yeah.
But we're holding strong, and that's what matters.
that's-
Oh, and your friends, and his third arm sort of points to the biomech behind him, and he goes, "Your friends are doing pretty all right as well."
Yeah. Yeah, my friends. Yeah. The Albatross are here, and they have a meeting spot, and Bastion gestures towards, the house.
Oh yeah.
and says, so, because comms are down, that's where we'll probably be relaying information.
Sure. Oh, is that because the... And he sort of, like, with his other two hands, just this, like, the it's kind of like jazz hands. He goes, is that where the wub is? Is that because of the... That makes sense.
Yeah, the...
You know, I was not ready for this when I woke up today.
I don't think any of us were, to be honest. Thank you for your help. Stay safe, okay?
Sorry?
Stay safe.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna come with you to that meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, kids! You wanna come to the meeting as well? And you see the one the one in the back that's like it's got a huge jet powered hammer. It's like 60 feet tall. Just like there's like you can tell what was supposed to be like a loudspeaker activation, but instead just like static comes out.
Oh.
And like a what feels like a bass boosted whirring noise.
Oh, cool.
Fuck yeah.
So normal. All right, anyone who's coming along, we should get headed back.
Who's going straight to repair?
What?
Who is going straight to repairs?
I'm going straight to repairs.
Okay. Pen, how about you?
I'm going to try and figure out where unnamed and oh no, what's cool? Spite. Thank you. It was Spite. I wasn't misremembering it. And also Elizaveta are.
So they just sent a hawk to them. So on the honor wing leans down and says we can find them.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
And
cool.
offers
so,
you
so
it
Hawk...
sort of offers you, says, would you like to leave a message for them? That sort of spreads its
yeah, Pen's
wings
just
and
gonna be
has
like,
recording.
hey, there's a meeting here. Basically, is what he's gonna say.
Honor wing nods and says, "We will do our best." And sort of gives the drone like a little scratch on the head and says, "They've never failed me before." And gestures out with his arm, and you see it like fly out across the city.
All right. In that case, what were the other places that people had mentioned? The temple or the house guard?
Yeah.
Could Penn do both? Temple on the way to the guard?
I mean, if you're fine with being late to the meeting, then yes.
Okay, so one or the other. I think probably before he goes, he asks like what priority is. He's gonna try to not talk to Elias in person if he can.
Well, I think if we have a message being sent to Percy, then we can probably. The temple is still an unknown, and it might be better to go there.
Yeah, like,
all right,
it's always possible that that's just a button that we can't really push, but if we could rally them to the defense of the walls, that'd be nice.
Yeah, or at least make sure that they are opening themselves up to any civilians that need to evacuate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love this. Yeah. Okay. So, Parmesia, as you're approaching, I picture you like, correct me if I'm wrong, like skittering low across the rooftops. Yeah. Just like soaring across. Yeah. You see what look like festival fireworks go off over the top of the temple.
Okay.
Ooh.
Which is interesting.
Fascinating.
So it means that there's just these cracks and pops along this sort of ambient humming soundscape. This ambient harsh humming across the whole city. There's these cracks and pops
I
being
kind of love
introduced to the
that,
soundscape.
actually. Hope everyone's okay, and that's not them trying to send out an SOS.
Yeah,
We'll
that was
find out,
my
though.
worry, is that we're
We
using it like a
will
flare.
Find out.
And you find the priests of the Titan have sort of you remember fighting them, right? Up the
Yeah.
thing. They've formed a perimeter around the temple.
Good.
You see a couple as you're approaching. You see a couple trails of you see a couple groups of refugees heading there.
Hell yeah.
And you see them holding the perimeter and letting the refugees in.
Okay. Good.
Fuck yeah, dude.
They fucking better.
And
Otherwise,
They'll
looks like
kick their ass again.
on the battlements, on sort of the sort of promenade of the temple, you see he's just walking back and forth and like barking orders.
Oh, okay. Didn't know you had it in him, but all right. Good for him. Also, I'm sure that's very stressful. Yeah, I think if Eustace is the first person that Penn sees who seems to be in charge in any way, shape, or form, Penn's gonna head over that direction. And land there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Eustace he's not giving battle orders. He's coordinating. You realize he's coordinating like aid campaigns using materials in the basement to form like places for people to stay, setting up like bedrolls and things in the exhibit rooms.
Sure.
How are you going to say hello to him?
I think he'll just start with a sorry to interrupt, and I'm sure you're busy.
And he sort of turns to look around. You're like 10 feet tall, right? Like we often like underestimate how big you are because everyone else is driving a much larger machine. But like 10 feet tall
Everyone
is a
else
lot
is 20
still. Yeah. So Yusha does like look up at you, and he pauses, and he looks up like over the people. And he goes, "You know what to do," and waves them off. And he just hugs you.
Okay.
And he says, "I'm so glad you're okay."
Yeah, it's good to see everything here is, not on fire or anything. What is... Seems like you're acting as a haven for folks?
And he sort of... He lets you go from the hug. And do you hug him back?
Carefully, but yes.
Don't you have those precision arms?
I got rid of the precision arm.
Oh,
I had
could
to,
do
so
little
I could
grabber
get
activities.
no more
had-
uppies.
I had to, so I could puppet other bobots.
I'm so upset.
I love that we regularly run into the narrative results of build limitations. I think it's delightful. Yeah, he says, yes, it was all a bit of a blur. Yes, it's good to see that you're all right.
Alive and kicking. There's going to be a bit of a logistics meeting for folks. Anyone here who could be sent as a representative?
I don't know how much the High Priestess is interested in people leaving, but perhaps I could go with you.
Yeah,
I think they've got
absolutely.
it from here. And
think
Eustace
that
looks at you, and you feel the deep and personal eye contact through your scan visors, right? Through your
yeah.
I feel the deep and personal eye contact, and he says, I really mean it. It's good to see you again. And you're like, Not sure, but you're pretty sure that Eustace has clocked you, and maybe has had you clocked for a long time.
Yeah, sometimes Penn feels seen. And that's weird and kind of uncomfortable, actually.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little personal.
But, you know, the good news is there's a bigger emergency that he can worry about.
Oh my god. Just the one bigger emergency. Couldn't even imagine.
You're right. He has bigger emergencies to choose from. It's important to be precise in your language.
And Eustace says, I'm sorry if that was too forward. I know you value your secrets. I just... With everything going on, I knew that you would probably be in the thick of it, so...
Aw, you know me so well.
I figured that I could do my part.
I think you're doing
Thank
more
you for reminding me that if we are to be... Thank you for reminding me that the people who are reminded by history are those who take action.
Of course. Well, I guess...
And you, like,
when is
you
the
hear,
meeting
like,
supposed to happen? How much
What was
time
that?
do I have to cart? Oh, I was just gonna ask when in the meeting is supposed to happen. How much time do I have to cart this,
you
guy?
can cart him there just fine. You
Okay.
can cart him there just fine.
Ben's like, oh no! How do I talk to someone? I can't hide behind jokes. That's inappropriate right now.
Oh, no!
Oh well, business time. That's the other mode, right?
Willis, we got comedy and we got business, and if we stay on those two, we never have to talk about the feelings.
But it's good to see you too. I'm glad to see that the temple is creating space for those who need it.
Yes, I suppose that, well, I always thought history was for the people. Maybe the cots we've erected in the exhibits perhaps make that a bit more literal now. You changed these people that day, and I want you to know that. The High Priestess didn't even question how the supplies were being spent, or hesitate to see if they could be preserved. She just decided they were for using.
That's good to hear, and I'm glad I could be a part of it. Is there... Well, I guess this is more of a question for the meeting, but definitely start thinking about logistics that can be used to support the work that you are all doing, because we need to make sure that continues.
I will. I know that we have drawn control of the temple, but I'm not sure. Meeting, like you said.
Yeah. And I think Penn's just gonna, like, pick him up, and fly off. He's like,
He's a little flustered. He's a lot flustered.
Penn's being extra careful just because he's not used
yeah.
to picking humans up with the bigger
No,
arms.
you got it. You got it. This gets to be your Superman Lois Lane moment.
Oh my god. Penn's flustered, but it's fine. No one can tell. It's a secret. It's a secret only Penn knows.
As you're flying, I think as you fly over, you just, like, you hear you just say, I've never seen the city from up here, and in spite of everything, it's beautiful. Thank you for showing me this.
Of course. Maybe we could go flying sometime in a way that's less whatever the fuck is happening now.
And Eustace smiles up at you and says, I think I would like that. And Team Mech Hanger, Team Mech Bay.
Yeah.
Team Mech Bay, you thought you were off the hook because you went to repair, but no. What is it? So when you arrive at the bay they've constructed, they've sort of like it's clear there were like essentially like drop pods full of tools and supplies, and people essentially helping set up like a field rigging set. This looks like it might be part of the regular Albatross kit because they need to do field repair, right?
Yeah.
With that set of tools, a lot of the ground crew really hesitates when they see you roll up.
Don't worry, my mechs are just slowly eating the soil and repairing me.
A lot of the Albatross ground crew, like, they see you coming up, they're shouting, there's a bit of confusion. A couple of the like specialized witch projector frames that the Albatross has come up and approach you.
Just gonna go ahead and like compact myself into a relatively normal looking mech.
Can I just walk up beside Olmo and pop the cockpit? Maybe
Oh,
put
yeah.
a arm over protectively. Mech arm, not a human arm.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so classy. Do you have a voice line?
No, we're just gonna stand there and maintain eye contact. They should have idents on us and know that we're coming.
Yeah.
If not,
The talk quickly turn, like, they see you make that gesture. You see one of the like the sort of the pit leaders, right? Check their thing, nod, shout, start shouting orders. People roll up to you both with like sets of tools, some sort of like, it looks like some very specialized printers that the Albatross has come up with that help print sets of replacement parts as quickly and easily as possible. This might be not just a field repair, this might be a full repair.
I see.
I just go and let them know, oh, can you just go ahead and like dump the liquid into the mech? I can do the rest.
There's like one field tech who just like looks at you, looks at the mech, nods awkwardly, gives you kind of a thumbs up. Although, how subjectivity installed in the Nidhogg are you in the moment?
Oh, like, I'm in the Nidhogg, right? So I'm, I have my subjectivity enhancement suite going as it's built into me.
Awesome. Albatross, the Albatross printer stuff, like the raw materials, tastes different.
Okay.
Think that's bits of gold.
Ooh. Okay, we can use that.
Also, yeah, you can use that.
Yeah, just gonna go ahead and then take my repair action. And while that's going on, just want to go ahead and talk to Baz for a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, buddy, I do just want to go ahead and make sure, and also I should actually back him just out of character. One of the things with having the tier 3 technophile is that, as well as having the like player 2 thing, right, so Baz can inhabit my brain, I do also have a miniaturized casket. So that would just be like a small necklace or something, like a little pendant.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
But just want to say that I do just want to make sure if worse had come to worse.
If worse comes to worse?
Just if the maw seemed like it was going to get to us, I would make sure that you had an opportunity to leave before that happened. I'm not going to drag you into that.
Oh, I would rather be here. Cooperation.
That's nice to say, but I just want to make sure that you don't... I'd prefer that you make it out.
I'm glad that you made it out last time.
Mm-hmm. I do want to go ahead and...
But I want to choose to stay.
Well, regardless, I do think getting you a subaltern or something, just to give you more options, would be a good idea in the future. I'll see if I can find that.
Buddies. Yes.
Mm.
Weirdly deep whisper on that comment. Like, Ben's like, ooh, buddies. Red Hen. Bookkeeper Red Hen is Auntie's gonna speak up. And she's just gonna, she is gonna chuckle again. She's in a very jovial mood. So I'm very proud of you, my nephew.
Gonna shoulder the nearest bit of metal in a friendly gesture.
Wait, say that again?
Oh, Bookkeeper's just gonna silently just kind of shoulder check the nearest piece of implacable metal.
Oh, that's cute!
Check.
She says, I know the transition from peacetime is never easy, but you've accepted it so gracefully, nephew. I had hoped you wouldn't have to see it again.
Part of me feels like oh.
No, go ahead.
Oh, well, Bookkeeper's gonna say, part of me feels like I never left. Coming back to this, it's not more comfortable, but it feels reassuring in a way. It feels like I don't have to think as much. There's just things to do.
Such is the nature of crisis.
Do you miss it? Are you happy to be back?
No.
I see.
I am a creature of crisis. And I hoped that you would not have to be. And behind you, the honored wing is going to touch down, somewhere further in. Since they've grabbed essentially a couple city blocks that they've started retrofitting, right? In the middle of one of the intersections that they've claimed, honored wing is just gonna touch down with this big whoosh, and clearly the wings are all eaten up. And there's this big, just scarring from where the nanites have eaten parts of the plating away. And the cockpit's gonna pop open, and you see this man in the broad-chested man in combat armor, right? Hop out of the cockpit, and sort of his mask falls down. You see he has this long flowing locks, and he just he says very quickly taps the pit chief on the shoulder. Says thank you, chief, you are the strongest of us all. And you can tell it's you can tell when someone's using a cultural phrase, right? That's part of what you say, right? When you're one of those phrases that we say as part of a matter of course. And the pit chief starts ordering directing folks in to fix the pieces. And on wing comes over to the both of you. And can tell he's looks like his eyes are a little bit red, like he's been crying, maybe. And he knocks on the he very politely like knocks on the side of Nidhogg.
Yeah, but almost gonna go and descend. He's just in his full sylph suit, right? So it's, opaque in the face and whatnot, but he'll come out.
That's so sick. Are you descending to the ground with him?
Yeah, like I'm coming out of the mech.
As you touch down, you are suddenly overcome with sensation, and you realize that you are being, like, lifted in this giant bear hug.
Hello?
I cannot believe. And he sets you back down. And you see just big tears running down his face. Right, this giant brick wall of a man, hands on either of your shoulder, and he goes, "I'm so proud of you. I'm so amazed with you. You have endured so much, and you should not have had to."
Thank you?
You said it yourself. I cannot imagine the... And he's a little choked up. The horrors of facing that which tore your life asunder again, and standing before it. Thank you.
Thank you. Honestly, you're what let us get out of there, in one piece with everybody.
We do only what we can. And you, and he points up to, you, Bookkeeper.
Gonna do a little wave. Oh, did that not get picked up?
It did. Hey, Redhead also does a little wave. Kind of not on purpose. And he goes, "Excellent piloting. People would not have made it out if it were not for you. I'm proud of you as well. Listen, but I hope it wasn't." And he gives you a Dozer. He gives you a thwump on the shoulder, and it's hard enough that you kind of have to brace a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it's hostile, just because he's big. And he goes,
it activates some of the reactive armor.
Exactly, and he goes, I apologize if I was too forward. I needed to express my gratitude to you.
No, it's very much appreciated. And
so glad I was able to offer any help.
Honestly, you're making all the difference right now.
Well, we'll see.
I look forward to talking strategy soon.
We'll see about all the difference. Hey, other teams, welcome to arrive whenever you like. So, Hero and Frieza, let me know when you would like to arrive.
I think Bastion and Nathan arrive.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much immediately after this conversation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Where's Nathan? Come here, Nathan.
If you want to have an arrival scene, you can go ahead and have that. Otherwise, Pen's going to show up now, too.
Do
Up
it.
to you, though. I want to give you space to do things, so.
Oh, yeah.
I think Bastion parks his mech and then gets out and walks in, I guess. What does the building look like? Is it just
it's less a building. It's they've essentially taken 3 straight city blocks and they've just set up a bay across the streets. They've just airdropped in the tools and the rigs to help people do the repairs. And there's a strategy table in the middle of it, but they're in the middle of a street. It's kind of wild.
So it's like a field operations block party. I love it.
Got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I think then Bastion parks his mech somewhere near some repair gear. and then is going to walk over towards the table. Or I guess if he sees where Olmo and everyone is, walk over towards them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See, yeah, you see the Honored Wing chatting with Dozer and Bookkeeper. You see this very broad-chested man. Tears streaming down his face. So happy.
Is everything okay?
And he turns, and he goes, "And you? I assume you're still in. I assume until you announce dismount, you're still in."
No, I've dismounted.
Okay.
Yeah. I said that.
"And you," and he like claps you on the shoulder, and he goes, "I'm very proud of you. I'm very glad we arrived when we did. You are holding your own quite admirably against them."
Thank you.
It's not an easy thing to stare into the mouth of death and approach it so willingly, so fearlessly. Demand that it change. I'm proud of you. And like he wanders off. He says, "I'll see you all shortly." Over there, and he indicates there's like a tactical map, right? We have one of those beautiful holographic tables that shows sort of the full map of the city. He says, "I'll see you there in 10 minutes." And he like meanders off to talk to one of the to talk to some of the Albatross pilots.
Amazing. I think like as he is leaving is when Penn like flies in, and like once you start up a conversation somewhere else, Penn like gets the chance to actually like land and say hello to folks and make sure Eustace's feet on the ground.
He does a little like he kicks his feet a little bit as he's trying to get his feet under him, and he does like it's a little awkward, but also like it's really cute. And he says, "Oh, thank you. That was magical. Thank you again for everything." And he's like he does blush, and y'all see this across the like just like across the way.
I think Penn's like the little like I don't know. I imagine that Penn's Duskwing has like a little bit of like a faceplate screen type thing, and that does the like little winky emoticon, like the text style.
That's so cute. I love that. I am imagining Zero from Borderlands level like
yeah exactly
yeah projector face exactly beautiful perfect. You see in the background, like the Honored Wing is like meeting with Nathan, and Nathan's like giving him a high five.
Fuck yeah.
And one of the Eagle drones sort of like comes back and stops, hovers in front of you, Penn.
Oh, yes.
The little beak face on it opens, and it projects a little hologram screen, and you see Spite and your Horus contact, and they're like both like out of their frames, like arms around each other. They're like, hey, look who it is! Yes, it's us over here. Hey, look who it is! And they go, and Spike goes, "You'll never guess what we have. We have the best present ever." Oh, and Elizabeth goes, and does Spike does like a what's the word, like a game show hand waggle, and steps aside. And Elizabeth goes, "I'm not a present, but thank you. Yes, hello. I believe that they're with you, Pen, and I suppose that this is Pen with which I'm supposedly sending this message. The Albatross forces, I believe that's who that is, came and we were able to get out. We've lost the rail station and this part of the city's cut off, but I think we're in good company."
If the three of them become friends, we're all fucked.
Actually, I think Spite and Horus Lady becoming friends is a future problem. We will deal with at a later date. Because, catch on like a wildfire. That's bad.
I was so hoping.
Okay, now the question is, would Liza make them better or worse?
Better.
You think so? Okay.
I think better because I think there's a level of irresponsibility that does not that exists in those two that doesn't exist in Liza.
That's fair. That's fair. She's irresponsible in the other direction.
Exactly. You see reverse contact grab it feels like she grabbed the bottom of the drone the way the camera waggles, and she goes, "Okay, look, situational update. They've cut off the rail stations. It appears that they're going to do everything they can to cut off transport within the city to prevent navigation. It's not super relevant to the mob because it is wherever it is, and it isn't wherever it isn't. You know, in the background, you hear Spike go, "I was just joking around. I appreciate if you would not. That way. Thank you. Fine." And she says, I don't know what's happening out there. It didn't look good. If she's out there, let her know that I love her." And the message closes.
All right.
Sorry, that's not how it ends. Let her know that I love her, and I'm sorry. And then the message closes. My apologies.
Communication. It's so good. We love it. It's never difficult.
Yes, no, you listen. It's never difficult. Ever. Not once.
I think Bastion is just pacing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty normal. Bastion, you hear sort of shouting from the edge of the edge of the pit area that they've cordoned off. And you see the Demolisher sort of marching up. It did follow you. It's just slow. It's slower than you and Nathan, significantly. So you see it plodding up, and a bunch of the pit chief, the pit chief in front, and a bunch of the people behind him, shouting, and waving, trying to use the airfield glow rods, waving.
Does it know what any of those mean?
It does stop. There's this horrible grinding electronic noise. Which maybe is it acknowledging, because it does stop and not progress further. You hear the pit chief shouting, "Who tried to put this in my pit?"
Oh, I'll go and I'll vouch for them. I'll just say, yeah, don't worry. Their gear is it's a little messed up. Don't repair it though. Just don't touch it. It should be okay.
This is you understand that any piece of this that comes off is potentially infectious.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying just we'll go in, we'll leave it on the outskirts, and just let the pilot come out. I'll go and I'll try to signal to them that they should go ahead and step out of the mech for now.
The mech, like, kneels. Cockpit doesn't open.
Can Red Hen help with that?
Oh.
Yeah,
Tell
can I,
me
like,
more.
also just try to probe it with some nanites and just see, like, is there a seal? Like, can we open the cockpit, or...
I mean, as you come close, it tries to wave you away unless you convince it to do otherwise.
Okay, no, I'll stay back.
First.
Yeah, no, if it's trying to wave me away, I'll stay back. Does it do anything else, or...?
No, it's just gonna sit and wait outside the pit. The pit chief says, I'm so sorry. Thank you for your understanding. We just want to make sure folks are safe. We can
Would
send...
you be able
No,
to...
my friends made freak mechs. Understandable.
He's speaking to the pilot. Also, he's speaking to the pilot of whatever that is.
Ask, so... Is there any sort of, like, local sign language or anything that they might have been using? And I'll ask Baz if they could possibly look that up.
And they have all learned 3 different forms of coordination for different scales of conflict.
Can you possibly try to communicate with him through hand signs and just see what's happening inside his cockpit?
Yeah, Baz is just gonna sign. I mean, unless you find a different way, Baz is gonna borrow your arms and sign language to him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or actually, sorry, Baz is gonna because of the distance, Baz is gonna grab 2 of the glowing sticks, right? The glowing landing sticks, and do a thing in semaphore. Because that's readable easily from a distance.
Yeah.
And the infected mech is gonna make a couple of hand gestures, and nod. Baz is gonna pause and say, "Oh," really quietly. They're gonna be okay. Let's do the meeting.
Okay, just more quietly. Baz, can you tell me exactly what's going on?
They said it's personal.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just leave them be then. I guess, we'll just go to the meeting and wave people off from them.
Oh yeah. Happy meeting, everyone. The Honored Wing is going to say, "Hello, everyone. I know we've gathered." As people are walking up to the table, you also see Shifa steps up to the table. There's this kind of short man in got a leather bomber jacket. And a Hawaiian shirt,
Fuck yeah.
Hat pulled way down low over his face. And Shifa steps up there. In the background, you hear some sounds, and then you see this mech pull up as well. And you see Percy get out in his full uniform.
Bash is just gonna run over and hug him.
Oh yeah, he's gonna hold you. He's in heavy combat armor. So he's kind of bulkier than normal. And it's kind of cold, but he is gonna give you a hug and say, it's just run one gauntleted hand across your hair and say, it's good to see you again.
So glad you're okay.
I'm afraid there's a meeting we need to attend, but I'll be here. And he reaches out and holds your hand.
Yeah. And Bastion's gonna squeeze his hand.
Oddwing says, I'm so glad that you all... Oddwing gives Percy a look, but sees that he's with you, and nods. The Oddwing appears to be like he's a man of big feelings, right? So it's not many of his big feelings are deep down. A lot of his big feelings are on the surface, right? Mm-hmm. Just because that's his way. And so, like, there's a little bit of, like, is it anger? Is it frustration? When he sees Percy just for a moment, and then it tucks back in because he's running a meeting. Gunring says, hello, honored friends. It is good to have you all. I am grateful to everyone who could join us for this emergency meeting. We appear to be facing multiple crises on multiple fronts, and I'm glad that we are able to be of assistance. Before we begin, does anyone have any needs or questions?
Let's get started.
All right. I'm going to zoom out on the stream. Because this map that's been in front of us, this is the tack table that we have between us at the meeting.
Amazing.
He says, first of our concerns, or rather, the one we were brought here to resolve, the reason we were summoned, the Maw has reappeared. In the last hour, it has taken this portion of the city. We have lost access to the rail networks, even though we were able to establish a brief perimeter. Oh, is this map lying to you? It was. It was lying to you. Sorry, this is the state of the situation.
Oh, so we've lost...
What are casualties looking like in those districts? Have people been able to get out?
State of casualties is unclear, and likely will not be fully countable until after the crises have passed. The situation is not looking good. He nods. You can tell, like, this is a man who's been in situations of this acuity before, and it does not hold back the sadness he feels for every person he loses. And he says, we are no longer able to access this portion of the city, nor their port. We can send some small detachments there to help establish a cordon, but there is a limited amount that we can do for them. I believe that one of our communique drones made it through. And there are agents over there that are assisting Albatross in its needs. He nods to Penn. I believe you received that communique. Is there anything we should know about the situation?
Two confirmed combat-capable mechs are on the other side of that barrier. Besides that, everything's personal. And I think Penn's gonna make eye contact with Shifa at that moment.
She genuinely doesn't know what you're talking about.
Wait, which part?
You say everything's personal. She doesn't know. Shifa's holding her kid.
Yeah.
our kids when they're at the meeting, because sometimes that's what you got.
Yeah. Childcare in emergencies is difficult.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think a pen would be like, Shifa, we should touch base later.
She nods to you.
A quick technical question.
Huh?
What kind of like lift capacity does this spaceport have?
Ooh. Tell me your GM more.
Well, just like if obviously we can't communicate with this portion of the city, but we can assume that a lot of them are going to be flooding towards the spaceport. What if we're assuming they're going to be greedy bastards, which I'm just going to assume this part of the city is going to be?
Fair.
What kind of percentage of them are getting out?
Ring says, well, most of the ships at that port appear to be luxury liners of the sort, capable of carrying, frankly, very, in the sub-300s, except in total, if they choose to use the space efficiently, hopefully more. But
okay.
That is not a choice I can make for them. And there's an edge to his voice. Something is like gnawing at this man, but he hasn't let it slip yet. He says,
Don't like rich people.
but
No one can blame
genuinely,
them.
I hope that as many people as possible can make it out.
Do we want to start trying to evacuate people out of this spaceport if possible?
An interesting question. Unfortunately, the cordon can only last for so long. Part of it relies upon the Maw's adaptation to the frequencies that disrupt it is fast. And while we may be able to find a secure cordon to continue operations, we were only able to scramble so many on emergency bands. As such, perhaps bringing people there risks the breaching of the cordon. And as far inland as we can help people gather may be necessary.
I know that the domes are heavily reinforced.
Indeed.
If nothing else, we might want to take those ships into orbit just to deny them their food. Or rig them to explode if nothing else.
Understood. I understand that you've faced them before. I'm taking under strong advisement on the note of these structures. That is our second problem. And he's gonna pull up some sort of like some zoomed in like recording screens, sort of like indicating where they were from. He says currently there is a crisis around this structure. Many are seeking that for refuge. So you are right. It is strong, armored, large. If any scans are if the scans are any indication, sparsely populated, and it is. Well defended. The House Guard appears to have turned their. And he looks at Percy. Turned their, like, not a long time, but just, there's a glance. He says, turned their tools against, are holding off a cordon against those trying to flee. It has not broken into outright violence against the refugees yet, but how long that situation will maintain is unclear. Bookkeeper, why don't you make me some kind of check?
Would a stay cool roll help? I say, trying to reach
what?
Nothing. I put points into something vaguely social.
What?
Stay cool.
It's not stay cool, but I respect it. And also, I feel like Bookkeeper's the stayest cool of us all, and I'm so glad the Bookkeeper has the stay cool.
Unfortunate. That's a 6.
On a 6, you're sort of scanning, right, this tactical profile out here of each of these, and you see sort of the line mechs that you use the House Guard fielding, right? And in some of the scans you see other frames that you're not as familiar with, but it's really hard to make out because a lot of it is on the ground footage. It's very jumpy and very blurry. It's very hard to make out what those frames are. That's your 6.
Gotcha. Can I ask, what is the exact nature of the communications blackout?
I'm afraid messages delivered not in person are difficult to receive, as the disruption frequencies that remove the connection between the maw and its individual pieces also disrupt any basic form of interaction.
I think Bastion is going to squeeze Percy's hand and ask him if there is like anything that they can do about the guards from the inside.
Ask that to Percy?
Yeah.
Percy looks tired. Percy looks at you here and he says, I will redouble my efforts. See what I can do.
Would you like me to come with you?
I do not know if having, and he does, there's a little impish smile, and he goes, I do not know if having the face of the revolution and unstoppable dissident hero of the people on my side would necessarily be all to our advantage.
Yeah.
Besides, I think
that's why I asked.
Besides, I think the people here need you. And he nods. And he kind of glances nervously across the table from Honored Wing.
I think Penn is gonna turn to Eustace and be like, if we were to find a way to help redirect people towards the temple, how many more would you be able to take?
Quite a number. Where when we utilize the full resources, we can fill a great many folks there if they're willing to fit in, and I'm sure the executive offices would make good places to stay as well. He chuckles himself and goes, perhaps there will be light reading to help distract from the situation as well.
We all need a little distraction every now and then.
This was a finally someone would read the term papers joke.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna learn so much history because they're just desperately trying to distance themselves from reality.
Yep.
In the current time period. I think after if that's what Eustace says, Penn will kind of speak up and say, "Is there a way that we can help redirect and let people know where a safe haven can be found?" Get the word out.
We had hoped that the fireworks would be sufficient, and in the distance you see like a firework crackle up, and you can tell this was one of the expensive light show finishers as it bursts, and there's the pyro bursts into the shape of the Titan and crackles out and streams, and he says, hopefully that will attract attention. I didn't quite know what else to do. I know that some of your rather more accomplished logistics.
Look,
That was one of yours, right? And he points to like, he has like a channel that's discussing the ARG.
Yes, honestly, I was just about to say we are gonna need runners, more of them than these birds can supply. And honestly, people to try to just get the word out on foot, because as good as those fireworks are, honestly, that is a good idea.
And it might help de-escalate things at the line that's being held.
That too. I mean, just having communication channels would be incredibly useful right now, as slow as they might be. I was going to ask, honestly, if we have access to any sort of subalterns, anything like that we could just program on hard routes to run points on the city. They could carry messages, and they wouldn't get tired.
That's a good idea.
The honored ring like waves the pit chief over and like says something and nods and says, I think we can work on that. I did not realize that. I'm good to see that your city is so well supplied and supported. Appears a great deal of work has gone into that, and I appreciate it.
We try our best.
I know this is he glances up at Percy again. I know this is a complicated situation. But thank you all for being here. What is our plan of action?
We have to
Or
do
rather,
something.
What of the four of you appear to be in this moment, you and your friends at the spaceport appear to be some of the first responders on the scene, and the Albatross refuses to make plans on people's behalfs. How can we support you in this?
We need to figure out how to get rid of the house guard.
That, and also what to do with Cass.
Oh yeah. Bastion is gonna go run over and take Cass out of the mech. I forgot that Cass was in there.
A huge like barrel.
Bastion is gonna like roll Cass over towards the table.
Also in the box, so like I bet you the box has rollers welded to the bottom.
Yeah, well,
because you thought it was funny.
Yeah, roll Cass over it.
And Cass appears at the table and goes, "Hello, everyone. I'm terribly sorry about this.
Not your fault, bud."
Honored Wing says, "Pleasure to meet you. It seems we've yet to be introduced." And he looks around at all of you.
Cass is an NHP, and it's what the Maw is after.
He, like, takes a minute, and he says, excuse me?
It has a deterministic ability to see the future?
It has a non-linear view of time.
Fascinating. It is nice to meet you. Cass is like rocking a little bit. Like the hologram itself is like standing in place. And it's like rocking a little bit. And Cass says, "Thank you. It's something. Sorry, everyone."
I think Bastion, just in like hushed tones while everyone is, talking in the meeting, is gonna ask, Cass, what's happening? What's wrong?
This isn't supposed to happen.
What do you mean?
This hasn't happened. This won't happen. This doesn't happen.
What doesn't? What are you talking about?
None of this happens. None of this happens. And you see Cass like slowly getting more and like more anxious. Like, none of this happens.
What? I don't know if I understand. So in the future you saw this meeting doesn't happen?
None of this happens. I was saying goodbye. I became part of the Maw, and then it all stops. That's what has happened. This isn't happening. This hasn't happened. This won't happen.
Hey,
Cass's casket is starting to whir. Like the fans in Cass's casket are starting to whir and whirl louder.
Hey, but I need you to take some deep breaths. If that's a thing NHPs can do, I just need you to slow down for a minute, alright?
Cass's hologram chuckles. Because Cass is very much right. I'll ghost inside a box.
Yeah. Would you? Bash doesn't know a lot about NHPs.
Not unreasonable. Hey, not unreasonable.
Not a thing that was accessible to him on Pastigalia.
Also, not unreasonable to offer meat person de-escalation skills for a panic attack when you're used to talking to people made of meat. Cass, yes. Sorry.
No, you're all good.
How am I supposed to...
So it seems like the situation we're in is that the future you knew was going to happen didn't?
Yes, this doesn't happen. Sorry.
No, you're all good.
We've added a new baseline to the presentation, which is apologizing every time the anxiety strikes.
I don't.
Poor darling.
No. Bastion looks over at Omo. And tries to get Omo's attention.
Perhaps Omo come over.
Hi.
Cass is gonna look up at you, Hero, and say, Hero, let me try to explain. Imagine that every memory and deed that you have ever done and the entire universe, its structure down to the atoms, was wrong. And always had been wrong. And you will always have been wrong.
I mean,
there's a really upset. There's kind of a low scent of rubber in the air, like overheating rubber in the air coming from the casket.
Bastion is looking at Omo for help because he doesn't know how to help an NHP from having a full-blown breakdown.
Olmo's gonna go and just try to get down on their level and just say, alright, I know things are a little bit scary right now, but just try going through the first 50,000 prime numbers backwards, times pi out to the 2000th decimal. Just do that for me a few times, okay?
It won't work either. It'll be broken. Yes.
Just try to work through it.
And Cass's hologram nods, and the fans slow a little bit, and Cass looks up at you and says, "It's done." Why?
It'll be okay.
Why does the math still work? Maybe they were right. Maybe I am just broken. Not worth following.
I think it's a little bit too early to say that, but just know that things are going to be okay. It doesn't end like you thought it did, and that's a good thing.
Yes, I don't have enough data. I don't have enough understanding.
That's okay. There will be time to get that later, but we have some decisions to make right now, and your input would definitely be valued.
Cass looks up at both of you and says, "Is this what it's like?"
Not
With
knowing
like
the future?
with like a dawning horror, Cass looks up at both of you and says, "Is this what it's like to not?"
Know what's gonna happen next? Yeah.
I feel so small.
But hey, for what it's worth, it does mean we get to hang out more. And he's gonna, like, wrap his arm around, the box.
Aww. Yeah.
Wait, Cass, I have a silly question.
Oh, certainly. Sorry for the disruption of the meeting, everyone.
Oh, I think this is very important. My question is somewhat related. Have you looked forward to anything before?
Well, that's such a circular question. It's already happened. Forward indicates a linear space. I suppose I haven't occupied one of those before.
Ah. Something you would like to do.
I hadn't thought about that.
It doesn't have to be big, but maybe think about something you would like to do. And we'll do that later, okay?
Okay. I'm still not sure we'll get the chance, but
But
yes.
we might.
The fun
That
part
sounds-
and the scary part is now you don't know. Anything's possible. Infinite possibilities.
What a strange opportunity it is.
A bit of a threat and a promise, unfortunately.
The Honored Ring has been he hasn't been interrupting. He's been he chatted with a few people, but he's mostly been watching y'all interact with Cass. Stroking his chin a little bit, considering the situation.
Regardless of Cass's abilities, we do think the Maw is still going for them, so we need to figure out what is the safest place. Is it off-planet, in the limited time we have access to the spaceport, or is it towards the domes, with hopefully a boat in mind?
He's been staying in my garage, and that's looks to be still an option.
Any form of precognition, combined with the Maw's abilities, I presume it is attempting to consume our friend here.
Yes.
Any form of combined combination of the Maw and any limited form of precognition, as intense as it may be, seems an unacceptable failure state.
And I just wouldn't wish that on anybody, you know.
As that is the case, I would consider evacuating the spaceport to be a gamble, risking potentially tens of millions of lives. At the low estimate, should the Maw get a hold of our friend. Cass, it is good to meet you under any circumstances. Welcome to Hope. It's a very unique feeling, and I look forward to you enjoying it. And Cass sort of awkwardly smiles up at him.
So is our best bet to get Cass into the dome?
We'd have to get past the guard, and that could also kill two birds with one stone.
It would.
I'd be willing to make an attempt.
My loyalty here is to the people of this place. The dome does seem like an excellent place to begin holding shelter, but
having some take shelter here, but yeah, evacuating anybody who can't make it into there just past the guard into the cordon would be ideal.
Speaking of which, it is important that you, the Albatross, know that the world is currently under the command of the King of House of Kings, who is really under the command of a man named Augur Devakusu, who is part of Union's Second Committee. And he's the one most likely in charge of the cordon.
The honored wing just like raises his eyebrows and he says, "You have been having a fascinating time, haven't you?"
Yes. Less fascinating now because I am not enemy number one anymore.
He shakes his head. He shakes his head and mutters to himself. Just real quick. At the thing you said, shakes his head, mutters to himself. 13 months, and back in the meeting. What were you saying, Olmo?
Oh, just we have evidence to back up our claims of their presence in Second Committee.
At this point, I would accept most anything you said at your word. He smiles at you, Olmo.
Speaking of which, I think Bastion turns to Percy and goes, "How are things inside the dome currently? What is the state of affairs?"
I'm afraid I had only first donned my armor when the Albatross fell, and I supposed that relaying with them might be our best chance.
Absolutely.
I do not know. And he clears his throat. I am not aware of the state of the inside of the dome. I am not aware of what plans the false augur or my father have for this world. Honored Ring is like watching him. Not hatefully, but like watching him. Percy says, and I will do anything I can for my world, and there's this just like very slight head shake, like not like admonishment, like a little bit of disapproval from the honored wing.
I'm gonna
and Percy swallows and he says,
"Fight this man,
but
and lose." And lose.
Hey, he's allowed to harshly judge your boyfriend. It's okay.
No.
And Percy says, but
absolutely not.
Percy like recognizes that he said something wrong, but doesn't fully clock what it is. And he says, and I will do everything I can to curb their harmful impact. I'm sorry for interrupting your meeting. The honored ring nods, and he says, "No. Thank you for speaking. Thank you for your assistance." Is there anyone else? And Shifa steps up. Shifa starts discussing the situation on the ground, evacuation routes that people are taking. So she sort of finds a list of organizers. She has a list of the folks who like will struggle to evacuate and wants to know if the Albatross has special clauses for those. Like, she's got a very full list of logistics.
So cool.
Thank you, Shifa, for doing the work that I cannot.
Does anyone else have like side comments they want to make at the meeting while we're doing that part of the logistics? Or check-ins people want to do? Percy looks.
I think Bastion is just gently stroking Percy's hand with his thumb.
He looks like he's gonna cry.
Yeah. And is also just gonna wrap an arm around him.
Can Elmo try to go and just help out with programming the, like, frames, right, that are going to be making these runs? Just making sure that they're not just, like, hard-coded onto routes, they actually have, like, an internal map of the city, and that they can go and dynamically select routes to, like, avoid combat zones if possible, if they, like, get updated with that information at one end of the, like, visit or the other.
Oh, 100%. I feel like the pit chief is very grateful to have your help. Did I give the pit chief gendered pronouns yet? I don't believe I did. Say any gendered pronouns. She's very grateful for your help. We normally have to do this on our own. I'm very glad to have a direct hand in it from the people we're trying to help.
I'm always happy to lend a hand.
And she points to go, you! And there's, like, two, like, people who, like, clearly very, like, still getting used to together. You should watch him, you've got stuff to learn. And just, like, orders them over to watch you, like, figuring out those logistics. Eustace is going to say, Eustace is going to lean over to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Thank you for not revealing to them the state of the temple before. I do not think they perhaps would have liked to hear it.
I won't say it doesn't matter, because it does. But also, what you're doing now is more important. We don't all start in a good place.
I promise they were trying to learn.
We all are. It's alright.
Nathan's gonna speak up on the meeting. Essentially, he's gonna offer, like, a list of a list of essentially what he thinks, kind of vaguely, the different infected frames can do, sort of what their forces are. It's really vague, both because Nathan is not, a logistics intelligence person, but also because, like, he's not really fully clear what they do.
Yeah.
And he's going to say we can offer a point strike capacity, where I don't know how good we are going to be at holding, but if things need moving, if things need removing, we're your crew.
I think Bash is gonna speak up and say they have my I can recommend them. They're very talented.
Nathan's gonna turn backwards while you're in the middle of, like, trying to, like, here's the introduction, turn backwards and shout back to the demolisher at the edge of the zone, and just go, we're a crew now, and it just, like, gives a thumbs up.
They're very talented pilots, and are a force to be reckoned with.
I'm glad to see the people of this city so well supplied by those who truly care. I would like to be clear with the people here about our role and our capacity and the limits of our assistance. The Albatross we are not prepared for sieges or long engagements. The Albatross engages briefly and then retreats, as is our nature, the nature of the help we can provide, and the nature of those that need help.
Are you guys gonna leave?
We will ensure that the Maw is dealt with as best to our capacity. Speaking of which, and he turns to Nathan, actually, point strike capacity will be very important to effective removal of the Maw. I have tangled with it in multiple engagements before, and well, we've learned a great deal about how to fight it. And Nathan, gives the double thumbs up. No, we will be with you through this crisis, but once the crisis passes, he looks pained. There's a sadness in him. He says, we will need to take wing again and find those in need of help. We can break the crisis and assist in that. We can assist in breaking the crisis, but we cannot and he makes a face, which is odd, right? It's all been subtle enough that it doesn't interrupt what he's trying to communicate. He says, we will not be able to rebuild your world for you.
I can do that.
Pen's gonna be like,
Don't
stop
worry.
talking like you're the only one helping. You're not alone in this. We can do it.
Alright, we can do it.
And Bastion, in this moment, I think you see Shifa, you see Nathan, you see all the other all your co-pilots. You see all the other pilots. You see even the old man who hasn't said much. Just tips his cap at you, and for a second, you get a glimpse of Contact's face as he tips his hat at you.
My dad's here!
And you see Percy beside you, and you realize just how many people are there to help.
Sorry, force of habit.
I get it. We got you.
And Contact just very quietly goes, I don't think you got anything to be sorry for, kid.
It's my dad. My dad's here. Oh, I think Bastion's gonna run over and give Contact a hug.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's gonna
Fuck
give
meeting
you the
etiquette.
biggest hug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
Oh
dad.
yeah. He's just gonna give you a big hug. He's a really good hugger.
Hi, Dad.
Hugs are big and warm and sturdy. And he gives you that hearty tap on the back, and he says, sorry I couldn't see you in person. I've owed you a hug for a long time, kid.
Bastion's gonna nod and then head back over to where Percy is.
Oh yeah. Before he lets go the hug, as he lets go, he just says, proud of you.
Thanks. So I think... Alright, so I think at least Bastion's plan is to try and break through this barrier somehow or sneak through and get cast into the dome.
Get the maw to... I'm assuming we can't destroy it, so how do we get it to leave?
Well, the interesting thing is that it was supposed... the Honored Way can't lean forward. The interesting thing is that it can be destroyed. It simply very persistent.
Yeah.
The secret is that it, for all of its pretensions at omnipresence. It is largely a network of individual printing sets. Should they be destroyed, it can be removed. Point strike will be very relevant to this, as once it's aware that we know where those hearts are, it can move them and replace them.
We have access to some assets that might be able to help with that.
Yes.
Just gonna go ahead and go on the local channel. Do we want to go and discuss that contract from before?
Percy looks over at you and says, "What contract do you mean?"
I'm just gonna turn and look at Bookkeeper.
Bookkeeper's gonna muse. Like, I'm curious what the units, the irregulars fighting alongside the house forces were. It'd be a stretch, but.
Wait, say that again?
Oh, I'm just gonna muse about the possible identity of the units fighting alongside the House Guard forces. How's the contract looking? We've drawn it up. What did Baz find?
I'm sorry, can I get that one more time? My apologies.
I was just moving on from speculation and directly asking, what is the state of the contract we had drawn up? What did Baz
believe it was 25%, but also she said that the numbers would change as the situation developed.
And do we have a version that Baz rewrote that has the whole stipulations, right, of not acting in the city and all that, and like with the potential to use them for construction?
Oh, yes, I did construct. I finished the contract.
Was there anything else?
Pull it up on the holotape, which is the first that Percy is hearing about any of this.
Incredible. Bookkeeper's gonna kind of just desperately look at anyone else. Ulmer, you're closest. Give it a shot. Sell it.
Well, so there is a mercenary company, as far as I understand it, who would be willing to, for the small price of, I think it was 25% of the military budget of the planet, for, how long was it? 15 years?
15 years.
15 years. Just for that short period of time, they would want to go ahead and have a monopoly on that portion of the budget. Go ahead and... Well, if they go and agree to the terms of this contract, they would be potentially, one, viable to be used for construction labor out in the desert, and two, they would not be usable within the city, so there would be lower chances of collateral harm. Additionally, there would also be stipulations, and therefore, civilian deaths, of course, them being automatically liable for any such cases.
I apologize for my outburst. Where would they be coming from?
Orbit.
The Honor Ring is going to pull up an orbital photo of it.
Thank you, Honored Wing.
And Percy, looks at that, looks at you and goes, Percy's gonna look at the, all of you and be like, and there's just been, a battle station pointed at my city for how long? Exactly.
Yeah, but they've been deployed against us.
Listen, I should have told, there was a lot I forgot. I forgot that they were up there. I should have told you. I apologize.
We'll go and I'll send that contract over to them so they can take a look at it.
I don't...
A couple things that it would be important to make clear in the short term. They are quite well renowned as shock troops, and for mercenaries, they're incredibly loyal, at least to the mission, if not any civilians around it.
I was about to say, they're also infamous for the number of civilians that manage to either get caught in the crossfire or become the target.
Good news, the mob
Don't
doesn't have
think
any
we should
civilians.
use them. I still don't think that we should use them.
That's a valid perspective to have.
Certainly, they're just an option on the table. They could be a very useful one once we have identified those hive centers and what's if we do need a quick reaction force, but
I do also worry about who else might purchase their services if we don't.
that is the one thing I do worry about also, is time does seem to be an element here, and the faster we tie up their services, the less likelihood, one, they're going to go up in price, and two, others are going to be bidding on them.
That's fair.
And I don't know.
I
I
should
think we
also-
could take them, but
I should also mention this choice falls solely to you or Elias, should he hear of it. This offer is open to a scion of House of Kings co-signing contract.
We do also need to go back with them and check to make sure that these new stipulations are acceptable, but they should be. I mean, they aren't particularly strange.
Your involvement and assent are, of course, paramount to any of these concerns. If you wish to have nothing to do with them, this ends here.
The Honored Wing has just like got a hand on his brow, and he's like really angry, but it's not clear about what. But he's tucking it in. He's not angry at someone. It's just happening in the background. He hasn't like made a point of it. Percy says, I'm sorry, and I have to make this decision before my brother makes a decision that could just harm a lot of people in the corridor. I'm sorry. And he looks at everyone, and he looks at the Honored Wing, and Percy says, I need a moment. I apologize. And turns and just like steps away from the table.
Bastion's going to see if Percy's okay with him coming with.
Percy, like, gestures, like, essentially, like just like gesture of like you can do whatever you want, and like steps away from the table a little bit.
Oh, then Bastion's coming with.
Oh yeah. Arming says, "Are there any other sudden forces of great concern over which I should be considering the presence? I did not know that they were unspoken for. Are there any other forces on world that I should be aware of?"
there's probably a bunch of death's heads somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh
they
god,
keep-
that's
yeah.
right.
Excuse me?
There's a large number of death's heads were smuggled onto planet, but we haven't been able to figure out where they ended up.
Understood.
Just, in
Does anyone
terms
on
of-
world have a reason to attempt to fight the albatross?
I mean, the auger exists.
Other than the obvious.
Bookkeeper's gonna quirk him.
It's not, sorry, that was not his response to you. That was his comment to himself. It just happened to tie in really well.
Out of character really quick. We know that the auger might be related to these acquisitions, and we know that the auger, up to a point, was in possession of a precognitive device. I'm sorry, person.
Well, he had Cass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the direction. If Death's Head specifically have a sort of history or specific efficacy in fighting the Albatross, it's not out of the question that they could have actually been brought here specifically to deal with the Albatross.
But, so here's the thing, though. Cass didn't know the Albatross were coming.
This is true.
No, they did not, but they're also an artificial and apparently out of character. Is an HP tampering a thing?
People can try, but it's unclear a thing, the nature of Cass, right? It didn't seem like full control was established.
Uh-huh.
Like, notably, Cass helped you sink that ship.
Oh, 100%. But full control and just clumsily deleting memories aren't the same thing.
They're not.
But this has fully become a paranoid theory, and I'm gonna leave off on it.
I don't think any of your lines of reasoning are wrong in terms of like what could be wrong. If it is the augur whose those are. Donna Ring says, we've certainly encountered sniper lines before.
But he was aware... The augur was aware the maw was going to come.
Yeah,
And if he knew the maw was going to come, it is possible he knew that the Albatross might come as a result of that.
One way or
Or
another,
the
looking to
snipers-
capitalize on this.
Or the snipers could be for the maw. I don't know.
The question is, what would he want? What would he actually want to do in a situation where there is some kind of chaos going on?
That is part of the reason why Bastion wants to go to the dome. Is to figure out what's happening in there. A reconnaissance mission, if you will.
Do we get to wear a silly outfit? I'm sorry.
Understanding what happens at the throne would be very valuable. Oh, sorry. You went with Percy.
No, I went with Percy.
Yeah. You were saying bookkeeper.
Oh, nothing. No. We were talking about going to the dome. I was saying we should wear silly outfits.
Good.
You're right, and you should say it.
Right, and you should say it.
How many? I mean, I'm not here, so I'm not going to say anything. I just think the less people we have inside the dome, the better, because the less likely people are to get caught.
I mean, honestly, in terms of safety and talking to people, it might be better if it... Out of character. It would probably be most effective as Percy and Penn. Just
but
'cause...
if part of the reason Bastion is going in is to take Cass in, and
could Penn not do that?
Thing that would also be if Devakusu forces are in there, would we just be taking Cass to them?
That's the other aspect.
That's also true.
And even worse, if we did take it right to him, think about how happy he would be with himself about the levels of 40 chess he played.
But where else are we gonna put? I mean, the other thing is, where else are we gonna put Cass that is safe?
We've confirmed that we can't get Cass off planet. Wait, what if we?
It wouldn't.
Guys, I have the funniest fucking idea. We could
What?
put them on the battlecruiser.
I was about to say, can we get the mercenaries to hang out with Cass?
I mean,
Cass just goes on their ship and hangs out.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I think it would be more secure than the dome in terms of...
I mean, sure, but I think that's a really bad idea.
I don't think we have any good ideas.
I mean,
think the dome's better?
I think that if we can hide it inside the dome, which is a big area, it would be better.
The thing I also worry about, right, is right now we're facing a lot of people who are massing along this cordon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they continue to mass like that, there's going to be some kind of violence. So unless we can go ahead and either initiate that violence ourselves and punch a way through, or talk to them and negotiate a way for us and these people through, right? I don't know what's going to happen on that front, even if we are able to sneak a few people through, right? Like, we need to solve the problem of this cordon itself.
Yes, agreed.
What about the other domes?
Significantly more compromised. I was considering it. This dome has a not like it's right on the edge of a cloud. This one's cut off from everything else.
Yeah, this
There's
is
one
really
out
going
in the
to
desert still under construction. I think it's still under construction.
the
It's
central
done,
dome.
but you're definitely between a wall and it.
Yeah.
And we know about their priorities. That it will. We know about the mob's priorities. It'll probably pounce on anything in that range.
Yeah.
I don't like this. It feels like we're being herded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would imply that this is where they're trying to get us.
Yeah, that's true. Almost going to turn to Honorwing Brookwood. How do we determine where these nodes are? Where do we need to strike to destroy this thing?
That will be deeper in the desert. It is. Those scans will come with our reinforcements, which won't be here for some time.
Would that station, the mercenaries, would they be able to help with those scans, possibly?
They could, but we will need to resolve the humanitarian crisis first.
Yeah. And they could help with that as well. As long as they're deploying outside the city, which it seems like there is ample space for them to do so and make a difference.
Hey, team Percy and Bastion.
Yeah, what's up?
Percy's gonna quietly step around a corner so he's not in view of people.
Bastion's coming with him.
He just as soon as he rounds that corner, he balls up his fists and hangs his head, and he just starts weeping, like ugly crying.
Bastion's gonna hug him tight. I'm so sorry.
I am sorry that I carry my father's sins, and my brother's sins, and my family's sins. You deserve people in your life who do not bring this baggage with them.
But I don't want anyone else. I like you, and I don't mind your baggage.
I know that you will be patient with it for my sake, but you should not have to.
I don't mind it. I want to be there to support you because I love you. And I'm sorry that you feel so much pressure to fix mistakes that are not your own.
And yet, if I do not fix them, whose job is it to fix them?
You don't have to do it on your own.
And yet, the people in that meeting are there for you. They're not there for me, not because they are not my allies, but because I'm not one of the people who deserves to have those allies.
I don't think that's true. I think that you are part of this team, and you're helping us in every way that you can, and that makes you worthy of being at that table.
My worthiness is not important. I simply want as many as possible to be able to get out and to make it through.
We all do.
He just holds you.
We're all doing the best that we can.
I think we're gonna leave them there for the moment. And Team Tack Table. Hello, Team Tack Table.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a harebrained question for
Yeah.
Honor Wings.
Yeah.
These key points, those heart replicators, is it possible to shift location and concentration of the storm by possibly picking up and stealing and running? Don't expect the answer to be yes, but just on the off chance.
Not an unreasonable question. We've seen that you have a matter of seconds should you be close enough to interact with them at all.
Damn. That would have been funny.
But I like where your head's at.
Bookkeeper's gonna nod and go back to thinking.
But and do you give your NHP my best as well?
Sorry, one more time. What was that?
And do give your NHP my best as well. And he nods. Just a matter of like, I had forgotten to mention, like, say hi to your friend. Right. The question is, based on my scans, it does appear that the central dome had enough room to house those who are fleeing. And based on our very thorough logistics, we should be able to evacuate more folks than we normally would. Thank you again, Shifa, for those numbers. Shifa, like, nods. She's, like, bouncing the kiddo a little bit. I'm sorry to say this, I would trust perhaps you four more than anyone in transporting our friend and keeping him safe. I'm afraid, with the tactical situation what it is, I don't trust any of our lines to remain constant. So perhaps a stable position might be best to avoid and rethink. Are there any other questions?
So for me, as a player out of game, clarification of basically what we've talked about and what we what's happening is they're going to be trying to figure out strike points that are the central manufacturing hubs for the Maw so that we can destroy those. And in the meantime, we're going somewhere with Cass. Yes? Is that
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Are we trying to get through this line here? Like, are we actually going to try to deal with the cordon, or...
I think we have to do something with the cordon, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What
I
we're
think
going to
that
do
would
yet.
probably be better a conversation to have with everyone, including Percy, if possible.
Yeah,
I think
and
we've had. I think we've had their moment. Percy was probably gonna, like, pull himself together a little bit, and come back to the table with you, Bastion.
Yeah, sounds good.
Before the subject moves from the line, do we have definitive eyes on who the auxiliary forces are? And Paramnesia, could you scout for us if we do not?
I am happy to act as scout. I'm happy to act as, I don't know, VIP messenger. Whatever needs to be done in terms of making information move with comms down.
Perfect. Out of character, can they fly over the Maw?
It might be very risky.
we got to assume that the Maw has the capability of, like, materializing some AA forms or something.
Oh yeah.
Maw snipers.
Just hurling lurkers up out of the fog at you.
Disrespectful. Yeah, how high up could I go in my Duskwing?
I mean, you can probably hit the average. I'm assuming you can hit the average flyer height that everyone can hit, which the Maw can build structures that high. Like, especially if you're traveling over the cloud mass, right? Because it's not that it has artillery or sniper forms as such, but it is that, like, when you're in the depths of it, like, we saw it when it was not at its full power almost catch up with that plane that was extracting us, right?
True.
To maybe speak something into the world, but if I were functioning on a similar platform, I'd just float up a bunch of monowires and let whatever was flying's momentum do the rest.
Nightmarish. 10 out of 10. That's even, like, what's the word? Conservation of mass, very effectively. Ugh.
Every day our respect for the Nidhogg grows.
But yeah, so Bermuda crossing this boundary to get to Elisabetta will be hard. That'll be difficult.
Are they over the sea? I guess
they're extending out that direction.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I just don't know.
Yeah, so the Maw is very effectively, like, essentially, like, because that's where we could export the least force. Yeah. Because something had to give. What gave was we kind of lost access to this portion of the city.
Yeah.
We have very limited communication tools, but, like, it's...
I just have to ask because, you know, I
reasonable.
go up high, I can go over water.
I mean, you personally could take, like, a really long circuitous route potentially, but the situation might have significantly developed by the time you got out and around all the way around, because you're not class warfare in terms of, like, speed.
Yeah. I mean,
my
base speed is technically faster, but I can't boost.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean you can't boost?
I mean, I can't. I mean, not like class warfare can.
Oh yeah.
No.
I can normal boost.
I mean, nobody's as fast as the Nelson.
I can
You
normal
all
boost.
wish.
But my base speed very fast, and also fly, but also I can't.
You don't have ramjets. Also,
I don't have ramjets.
You don't have ramjets. You don't have the.
Yeah, the most I can do is double my speed.
I mean, 17. Oh, fuck. It's base speed 7, right?
Yeah.
So 14's not bad.
14's not bad. Oh, for sure, for sure. I zoom. It's just a question of how much zoom and is it enough, and is now the time that we want to test if it's enough or not.
How's Percy doing?
I mean, we're back.
Percy, he's pulled himself together. It's really clear that he's been crying. But he is back. He looks determined. He's committed to helping.
Should we rope him into the conversation about how to get through that cordon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, while we're doing this, how quickly could you fly over and scout in real time?
Wait, say that again?
Oh, I'm just floating the idea that as we're discussing the cordon, if our ever excellent Duskwing in real time could get eyes on it while we're discussing this.
Comms are down, so you wouldn't be able to hear from me while I was doing that, I think.
Shit. Yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I guess let's go into rope Percy and then just let them know, hey, we're trying to strategize ways to essentially get through that cordon en masse because we're going to need to move people onto the other side of it.
I mean, I think one of our best options might be. I would love to check in with Elias.
Do we know where they are?
I don't know. Wait, Bastion looks to Percy.
Oh, sorry. Could I get that one more time?
I think Bastion just checks in with Percy if he knows where Elias is.
I would assume that Elias is within the dome, managing the situation, or
Yeah.
well, with lack of communication from him, I'm actually not sure what the House Guard will be following.
Yeah.
I have to assume the House Guard's also going to be cut off, so any sort of negotiation we do is going to be with a local group. If we have the prince with us, we might be able to go ahead and just bully them into believing whatever orders he gives, particularly if their comms are cut.
Yeah, honestly.
Percy, do you think that'll work?
I'm not sure. I know that I can try at least. I'll do
It's
what I
worth
can.
a shot.
What potential negative reactions to us doing that?
Well, if we, I don't know if they have orders to shoot the prince, that could be a problem, but I don't think that would be something that would really make any sense. Beyond that, they might just want to go and send a runner back, which could complicate things, but worst comes to worst, they say no, and then we have to fight about it anyway, so.
I mean, but also, best course of action is we figure out who is telling them to make the cordon as well. We
True.
get info on what their orders are exactly.
What their orders are, who's in charge, yeah.
Let's make sure that any of the, Olmo's gonna go and look over at the large, sort of mech sitting at the edge, the horse one. Make sure any of our, stranger elements are out of sight during this initial contact.
They probably I would love to go, but I don't know if me being there would be beneficial. I worry
Also,
that I would just make the situation worse.
we do need some kind of decision on the contract eventually.
Y'all hear sound of footfalls nearing the, like, heavy footfalls. Something being dragged
Oh,
nearing the
good.
edge of the edge of the loading bay. And Commander Crocuta shows up.
Dave, why are you
just
here?
dragging two of the Reaver forms that have just been singed in half. Hey, remember that weapon that we never fully figured out? They've been cored with some sort of, like, some sort of burning chemical. Unclear what that is. And just sort of tosses them at the edge of the zone. Pitcairn's moved to help her, and she goes, "Listen, I'm just here for fun. You kids, no touching. Looking only." I wanted to stop by, and she just, like, gonna lean on her hammer and, like, place her head on the tip of her hammer, like, leaning back and forth. Which, like, as people on foot, that's 60 feet tall. That's really scary. She goes, "Hi, have you considered the offer?"
It's been discussed.
Yeah, like just on the local, like, you know, sort of group chat. Just gonna go and ask, should I send over the new contract?
I mean, it's worth it. Just to gauge the reaction, it might be worth it.
I'm here to establish efficacy, and definitely not just because I was bored. So
Yes, I'm sorry. We did want to go ahead and have you look over an amended version of the contract. We had some stipulations that we wanted to go ahead and add, and well, just go ahead and send it over.
That's illegal. I've got to make a call. I can't make a call. I have to make the deal with legal on my own because we didn't expect everything to be so messed up. Oh no. Whatever will I do? I guess I have to include a fee for the fact that we can't do a full legal check of the contract. I guess, since there's no other acting representatives, maybe I get to make this deal on behalf of the company. So, 50%.
No. I think
I don't
Bastion
know
says
about-
that out loud.
I don't know about 50% because that is a bit of a steep, but we could always negotiate a one-time sum payment for this inconvenience.
Oh, that will be expensive. Is that the prince down there? Hi, little princeling. And she, like,
I think Bastion is going to
and,
just...
like, you're like, that
Bastion is
hand
going
is
to...
twice the size of Percy's body.
Bastion is just going to step in front of Percy. Just, no, you don't get to talk to him, weirdo.
Well, I just wanted to ask. I just want to figure it out. I think you would take great value from my services. Those house guard are looking awful spooky, don't you think? I've always wanted to fight a clown.
Honestly, if you'll check the terms, you wouldn't necessarily be operating within the city limits, so if you were fighting anything, it would be more likely that a cloud of nanites out there when we need you, but beyond all of that, just go ahead, look it over, and we can discuss the exact amount. Again, there's also opportunities for you beyond fighting in that contract, you'll notice, so that is something to keep in mind and take into consideration.
Goodness, people use all kinds of words. Listen, I am the only one. Let me be unmistakably clear. I'm the only one who can negotiate on behalf of the company. Yes, because we're experiencing unexpected disruptions. which would drive up the price of the contract. But if you were to offer me something I wanted, I mean a better deal, I would be able to perhaps lower the price.
What sort of things do you personally want?
Are we talking about a bribery? A poor, fun-loving girl, and here you're trying to wile your way into her heart with bribery? I'm just
a
bored.
favorable deal.
And this sounds like a fun time.
But what would it take to make that contract viable, just so we know?
What does viable mean in this context?
Just what sort of, compensation would you be looking for outside of increasing the cost 50% raw over the entire terms of the contract, which does seem a bit steep?
Well, I'm not really a legal person. And it's such a shame they're on the horn because I can make deals and they can't say anything about it. I'm just looking for something to... Listen, I have been on ice for like a long time and I am bored. So if you give me something interesting to do, I can dial that number back. Does that sound fun?
Just gonna go ahead and over the interior comms, right? Just say, what about a noble title for them individually? Would that be something we could do?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Are we gonna make her great sage equal to heaven?
I'm trying to get in her headspace, and let me tell you, that is not healthy. Don't do it. But, the two things that would really speak to me are a place in the games, a real shot at becoming a worldwide champion.
Ooh.
Or a rematch with us as a paying contract. Pending boredom, of course. If she doesn't get a real fight against somebody notable, she gets to contend with us when this is all over.
A title and a shot in the games isn't I wouldn't say it's free, but in terms of cost, it's financially...
It's also 2 for 1, quite possibly, for a rematch with us, but that's guessing a little too far ahead.
Are we able to threaten her with a boring time if she doesn't take the contract?
No.
Now you're thinking portals.
The only way to do that would say that her stay on the world would be exceedingly short, and the only way to really do that would be to threaten her, and threatening of her is just a good time, so...
I mean, the thing is if she doesn't take this contract, I think she goes back on ice. Yeah. Right?
No, she finds somebody else to pay her to fuck shit up.
Or someone else contracts her.
That's fair.
And that's the thing, so if we can go and make this personally lucrative, especially because right now she can go and just sell it as, well, these were just the bonus terms that I negotiated or whatever, right, into the heat of the moment. So we can go ahead and personally bribe, and I'd say a decent bribe would be a seat at the games, right, and a sort of stake in this world's future through a noble title.
Yeah.
I think
as shitty as that is.
I don't like it, but I'll deal with it later.
A noble title doesn't have to mean anything.
I mean, when you get knighted, it means jack shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Percy, very quietly. Titles mean things.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Bastion looks at Percy. Bastion looks at Percy and goes, "Percy, what do they mean then?"
He looks kind of embarrassed and feels like he maybe shouldn't have said something.
No, almost gonna, affirm them. No, here they do mean something.
I mean, what if we give Percy?
Yes, but
I mean, Prince means something. But is there a title we can give her that means jack shit? This is at Percy.
They're perceptive. Do remember.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is she?
Then what title should we?
Can we make up a title that's meaningless but sounds really cool?
We're getting really close to naming her Great Sage equal to heaven, and that makes me so
No,
happy.
exactly. Like, I don't give a shit. Ben does not respect.
For those of us wondering why this term keeps coming up,
Yeah, I don't know
it's
what this
the
means.
term that Sun Wukong was given to make him calm down that didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Great sage equal to heaven. Okay.
She's not Sun Wukong. I wish she was Sun Wukong.
With proper
You're the
therapy, I think
GM.
she
You
might
could make Sun Wukong.
Sun Wukong. She can try. She could get
She
better.
can try. We can all only try. Goodness gracious.
Percy is ultimate arbiter here of what we are capable of granting, though, in the end.
Yeah.
This is true.
Bastion just has his arm around Percy and is like, so, what are we doing?
I suppose those titles could be granted.
All right.
I suppose an honorary title could be found, and for her assistance in this crisis, he's like trying to find the structured word for the very unstructured situation, right? It's like, and I suppose having the saviors of the people of Passacalia's promise join the games on the games. Like, it just strikes him like that was so far outside of his reckoning in terms of like things that are on the table, right? He hadn't even considered. He was like, I suppose having representatives of the company who the free company who assisted in the support of the people of Passacalia's promise could make a showing at the games, which I do hope. Yes, certainly. The games.
All right.
And then any percentage increase or nah?
No.
All right. In that case, cap. What's the cap of the percentage increase?
It was 25, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, she said 50.
Well,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
said 50.
Her
For the
initial offer
personal-
today was 50.
For the
Yeah, but-
personal title, would we be willing for a 5% bump as well?
Yeah, we can
But
go to
listen,
30. I'd be all right with that.
She's willing to negotiate.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just out loud, it shows. Don't fumble this now. It shows unwillingness to properly fulfill a contract. If
Oh, she isn't unwilling to change on the percentage. She's made it clear that like the percentage can go down if you tempt her with things.
oh, okay.
She just wants
Oh,
to fight stuff. She doesn't actually give a shit about a lot of the stuff in the contract. That's just later stuff for her to deal with, I think.
Wait. I have an important question. No bump to increase of pay, but we also add a clause to the contract that if any particularly strange enemies appear on planet, it is guaranteed that she'll be able to see action.
If she oh, Christ.
I don't like that.
I like that. I like that a
That's
lot.
too vague. That's too vague because we don't know what'll happen in the future, and I don't
Okay.
want her making a situation worse.
What if we go ahead, though, and have, right, whatever bullshit title we've just made up, we granted some actual juicy rights or, privileges in some sense?
In which way?
She gets the land that the shitty dome is on. No,
Oh, yeah,
she
I like
doesn't.
I like that.
No,
I mean,
because
She
people's
turned into
houses.
an arena. We should give it to her.
No, but here's the thing: those are actually where people need to live.
Yeah, and maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Nothing
that land
boring.
specifically, but we go ahead and give her some actual holdings, give her some actual wealth in some sense, right, in addition to that title.
I mean,
Sure.
she's gonna get
I
enough
don't want her to
monetary-
have power over people. I
Why
don't
don't we
think that
just
she
make
could
this-
handle that.
Why don't we just make this offer and see what happens?
Yeah, let's start there.
Yeah.
I assume that while you were talking amongst yourselves, she was just like hanging out, just kind of like biding her time. She's like, what's your offer? And she just like lean over on the hilt of her hammer forward, which like only kind of has the effect of like really looming towards everyone because she's so tall.
Ashton does not like this.
Do you guys want
to... us?
I mean, either one of you. Just because you're the two who would be sort of in position, or I should say Percy is the one in position to actually do this, but you're also close to Percy, so...
I think Bastion will look at Percy and see if he wants to say it.
If you also want someone to
Percy's
tap in
gonna
as-
shake his head. He says, I will co-sign whatever deal you make, but I
Alright.
fear my
Do you guys want a
in
professional
these negotiations
contract
is limited.
negotiator on this? Because I'm happy to help.
Oh shit! I got a sneaky. I just thought of.
Oh shit!
We give her a dome, and we hope really hard she doesn't read the fact that she has to build it herself with her men.
I don't want her to build another dome.
Why not?
Because it might...
It tends to displace people.
Yep.
Oh, that's fair. But like...
Well, I mean, you can give her the holdings out in the desert.
Yeah.
That's true.
Listen, not to put... I don't want to put my hands on the scales of GM. That's just the funniest thing I've heard all day.
Part of what I was thinking was that we go ahead and actually give her a like percentage stake in the construction efforts that we're assigning their like corporation to out in the desert, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Honestly, that's a good idea. And
Yeah.
it does incentivize them to actually build things that are good and worth money. So
And like that
think-
would be essentially a source of wealth, right, for this like sort of noble title as well to give them some influence and power in the city.
I mean, originally titles were basically a form of official land ownership, and that's how they accrued their wealth. People were usually part of the land, but
I think I'm gonna hand it off to Penn, the ability to barter this deal.
man, Penn's just thinking about how mad Elias would be if he knew about
Oh my god.
He's having a blast. All right. So, I'm going to list all of the things that we've said so far to make sure we're all on the same page with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be, I don't know, something. Title.
Mm-hmm.
The title comes with land out in desert.
Yes.
They get a stake. What percentage do we want to start as a base for the construction that they can do, and what is the top percentage that we'll allow?
What do you... I don't know what that means.
So, like, when you start off the contract, you're like, you'll get 5% stake in, the construction company that's, like, that will make a profit from doing this thing that you're going to be assisting with. And you start off with 5%, and they're like, that's not enough. We want all of it. And we're like, absolutely not all of it. You can... And then, like, internally, we have a number where we absolutely won't go over that number, but we're willing to go up to it if we have to.
I mean, probably 25% would be
5 to
the
25?
highest. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Responsible negotiator makes people set out goals.
I'm sorry. Listen, it's what Penn knows. Okay, stake in the construction company. Is this a pre-existing construction company, or do we have to make one?
Well, it would be... Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, it would be likely formed, right, through this contract, and it would be staffed, essentially, by the, like, members of the mercenary company that are not currently on, like, defense duties, right? So like, if they're not
Okay.
doing defense duties, they're in this company and they're generating money for the mercenary company still.
Yeah.
I see. I think if this is something that they're going to be completely staffing and running on their own, it's going to be really hard to sell them a cap at 25%.
Okay, at 50%.
A share in their own company, you mean?
Well, it is a direct personal share right, essentially, that's superseding the actual mercenary company, so we're giving them a disproportionate bribe here, essentially.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like anything more than 25% would be kind of hard to sell to the mercenary company itself after the fact, even.
Another fact, though, I kind of don't give a shit about House of King's defense budget.
I mean, sure, but also, like, them getting funding is dangerous, right?
Yeah. We can also say that all of this, like, all of these additional, personal bribes, right, come with some flexibility up to, like, 30-35% on the defense budget as well, if we want.
Okay.
But we'll have to just see, right?
Yeah, we'll say cap at 35% for that. Because that's 35% of an additional project on top of the other 25% that they're getting.
Yeah.
Speaking of that 25% that was initially agreed upon, are we willing to go up at all on that?
No.
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 If we're giving them a juicy cut of it to incentivize them to invest heavily into infrastructure development.
Okay. Would we say go up from 25 to 30% with the expectation that what's an appropriate share would be reinvested back into infrastructure on planet?
Well, I mean, how it goes, I assume, is they want bigger infrastructure. They bring in more workers. We stipulate that they have to, any workers have to be first-class members of the Vultures, which means essentially they get as good a union plan as anyone else. So as fair a shake as we can possibly give them. They keep growing the what they think is look at this scam where we just build things and we make money, and next thing you know, that they're infrastructure, not a defense arm of the government.
Can we get them into the business of affordable housing with some of this percentage?
Like, that's the thing. Like, I think this is the
25% to.
Honestly, I think we're really far in the weeds on this, and it doesn't need to be.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if we need to make all of the right. We don't need to finalize all of this now, but the part of this puzzle is figuring out the fact that when you make decisions in crisis situations, sometimes they are very long-reaching, and the idea that you're going to try and convert the mercenary company essentially into affordable housing construction is crazy.
We can figure that out later, but if I have to keep talking economics, I am going to explode.
It's a fucking crazy thing, right? In this moment, we have such a beautiful opportunity that, like, capitalistic greed is presenting us to out-legal this fucking mercenary company, because this greedy asshole has an excuse not to call back to legal, and we can bribe them.
Yeah. I think, and she walked up to you and said, "Hey, I can be bribed and I can't call the government. I make decisions now, right now in this moment, without oversight."
I think we can formulate, like, the real, if we want to, the actual real details of it, but I don't want to spend my fun roleplay time doing this.
No, it's all good.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we have
reasonable.
talked about it a lot already.
Okay, so title, stake, percentage cap, and then placement in the games.
Yes.
That's it? Alright,
Wow.
awesome, cool.
Because
But we...
who's gonna present this to her? She wants to hear it. Present it to her.
I think... God. I have no idea how she's gonna take this. Actually, I think the first thing that we're gonna do is say, Pen'll Pen comes up with Pen's still in his mech. I forgot. He hasn't left. He's still in paramnesia this entire time. But he's basically gonna say, okay, so the best we can give you is a title with some power behind it that comes with a percentage stake in any of the non-combatant work you may be doing on planet, and guaranteed placement in the upcoming games.
I'm sorry, the games? I just wanted to fight alongside the Albatross. That was going to be enough for me, and you you want me to? I'm sorry. Let me.
Well, I mean, you're gonna be a celebrity.
You want to give me a title? You want to give me a title? Is that right?
I'm happy to rescind it if you're not interested.
Games. What percentage do you want?
Percentage of?
Percentage. The budget percentage. It's standard procedure.
Well, the games is pretty big, so I think
perhaps you misheard me. What percentage do you want? See, the thing is, we're best friends now.
5.
5. They'll get really mad at me.
Oh, that's terrible. But think about what the sort of publicity that you're going to be getting competing in the game.
Can I call it 7? Because then they'll still be mad at me, but I haggled about it.
We'll go to 8 just for you.
Oh, you're such a darling. All right, but I have one stipulation.
Oh, I'm curious.
And she's gonna flip and plant the hammer head down and like kneel down, and she says, I want my title now, Princeling. And looks up. It's because right when you do the kneel to get knighted, there's a like, you could just take my head off, right? That's the purpose of that gesture. And the power imbalance feels really different because she's 60 feet tall and the hammer is still in her hand, right? And Percy will step towards her, draw his like ceremonial saber, say, thank you for your assistance to the house in these trying times. And she goes, yeah, come on. And he says, I dub thee Marquis of Carrion. And taps her shoulders and knights her. And she just, like, slowly starts laughing louder and louder. And she says, well, Mr. Big Wings. And the Honored Ring looks up at her. He's, like, not actually all that fazed by her being, 60-foot tall murder monster in this moment in her mech. And he looks up at her and she says, I'm at your service. And she says, let me get my buddies on the line and You tell us where you need us. And congratulations, party, you have successfully negotiated with Carrying Company down to an 8% stake making infrastructure. Which is wild.
They're gonna develop the desert.
Hell yeah.
There's actually some really cool work, like reclaiming like some of these sections of the expanding Sahara Desert that you can actually see online.
I was literally just gonna comment on that.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Bastion would love to have a hand in helping with that conceptually.
I love this. So the question is, team, do we have a plan of action for ourselves? It sounds like the Albatross will help coordinate Carrying Company and the infected mechs and Nathan and the rest of Bastion's friends in sort of organizing for strikes against the Maw. The humanitarian crisis is ongoing.
Oh yeah, before we like.
Well, I think we need to figure out what we're doing with Cass.
So aren't we going to be heading in deeper with the idea that since communications are cut, if we bring the prince, we can just have the prince order these guys to let people through?
Yeah. Well, because I'm just transporting Cass would be something I would have to do, because I don't think anyone else has another compartment in their mech.
Yeah. I should also see, so right now, they're going to be organizing all of them to just, like, sort of hold off and, like, strike at these guys, but are they going to be trying to scan for the actual, hives?
I think the Albatross is going to have that covered, yeah?
Wait, yes, the Albatross is going to have that covered.
Okay, they're going to be scanning for the actual hives themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Yeah, then I suppose we just go ahead and try to get people through here to start alleviating the, sort of humanitarian crisis. Especially if we can, trying to get any of those, like, automated runners and stuff also out to people in these areas, right? Just trying to get them to move to, points further in, especially towards this line. And then also just making sure that we're using those automated runners to keep these people in the front lines, sort of connected to one another as best they can.
Oh, I love that. Sounds like we have our marching plan. We're heading into the dome.
Well, we're at least heading past the guard.
We're heading past the cordon.
Yeah. Before we head out, can I just make sure that Eustace is connected with people who might be able to coordinate supplies for folks at the temple?
Yeah, could I also actually just try to go and, like, if there are any of these sort of refugees near here, right, just try to, like, go and contact any of them and be like, hey, any of you who feel able, go ahead and act as runners, and also any of you who feel able, just try to get the word out to, like, get people to move further in.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yes, I bet we can. I'm picturing that we connect Shifa with Eustace in terms of negotiating.
Beautiful.
Great.
Sort of like extraction efforts.
Two different logistics bastions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Should have used a word other than bastion.
That's my name.
What's your name? Just a good word.
I think we're gonna head out.
Right.
As you're suiting up, before you're suiting up, Percy pauses for a moment, just takes Bastion aside and says, "Can I talk to you about something?"
Anything.
I'm not sure how we will find my father, or how we will find the house guard.
What do you mean by that?
I remember when you talked to me and asked how ready I was for the world to change.
Yes.
I want you to know that I am ready, whatever shape it takes, and that we may need to be the agent of that change.
Do you think that we might have to kill his dad?
and he taps you on the shoulder, and he's gonna suit up.
All right. Bastion wasn't prepared to kill Percy's dad today. But Percy has given him the okay.
I don't know that's what he was saying.
I mean,
genuinely, I don't.
No, that's
No,
how we're choosing to interpret it.
No, I mean, there was a really in-depth conversation they had where Bastion was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how intact the House of Kings is going to remain. That was the conversation they had.
Yeah, this is true.
I think that was Percy giving Bastion the okay to kill his dad if needed. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, Bastion's gonna go into his mech.
Which is concerning because Percy would only say that if he thought it might be necessary.
That it leads me to believe that things in the dome might be really bad, like worse than I originally thought.
Believe that as soon as we hit this coordinate, it's going to be a combat encounter.
We can check.
Maybe we'll find out.
We'll find out. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe you gotta tune in next week to find out. Does anyone else have any final words before we suit up and approach the cordon?
I have a terrible idea. I want to ask the hyena something. I'm sorry, the Marquis of Vultures something.
Period.
Marquis of Carrion. It's so much more. Vulture is one of the other commanders. Their unit commanders have a theme. It's Detritivores.
That's so cute.
I love that. I hope we meet other commanders. I'm not nothing against her, but she's a little mutt.
How dare you?
Yeah, Bookkeeper's gonna just kind of saunter over and address her by the title and ask if she's seen any of the Kingsguard units, the forces of the House of Kings in their current state.
He's gonna. Are you suited up? Are you on foot? How far down is she looking to look down at you?
Bookkeeper has half a hard suit on, like the bottom half is kind of opened up like a banana peel and overalls, but like half a hard suit, still half a hard suit. So she's probably looking 4 inches higher than she normally would be.
She's gonna just look down and go, you need me to take him? We could take him. I am at your service.
I want to
but I
take
believe
her
I'm
into the
needed
city.
elsewhere.
I will say,
as a character, that's just a no. She has not.
She could take him, and that's her full assessment of the situation.
Also, wait, out of character, do we want to go ahead and sort of consider her right as an individual with a title now, capable of operating within the city, even though it would not necessarily be on behalf of the mercenary company in that case?
Say again?
Don't
Just
want
because
her
we
fighting
have
in
the
the
whole
city.
stipulation with the mercenary company, right, that they cannot operate within the city, but
No, she will not.
It's in
would
her
prefer
contract
she
that she's
was
not allowed to operate within the city limits.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did negotiate this.
Yeah. And her in a combat role inside of the city is going to get innocent people killed.
Y'all came up with a bunch of negotiating options that I hadn't even thought about being on the table, like giving her a spot in the game and giving her a title. She's so overjoyed. She had the best negotiation of her life.
I'm so glad.
Basically, Bastion. Bookkeeper. Stop having the same letter at the start of your name.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. Bookkeeper more or less is offering the deal because she's a mercenary. You gotta offer mercenaries something to sweeten the deal. What colors, shapes, and chassis were present, and in return, he's offering Red Hen's phone number because fuck it, they might fix each other. It's fine.
They won't.
Oh no!
how's that gonna work? What?
She needs a sparring partner. I think it would calm her down.
Okay,
You know,
okay, actually, I mean, I
okay,
guess.
that's fair.
Yeah.
long as it's
she like,
not in the
you,
city.
you offer her that, and she's like, I. I'm like, you signed the contract. This is for free, but I'll take this since you offered it.
And it's a
Sure.
phone number, nothing more. What you do with it's up to you.
I can't believe you're setting up your aunt on a date with the
Yeah.
mercenary captain.
That's
I mean,
so wild.
This is the second time your aunt has
wild.
your aunt dating someone has been offered, and I love that so much.
It's so
Red
wild.
Hen and the Marquis of Carrion, a match made in heaven.
Oh Christ! What happens today? So many people die.
And they have
I
a
feel like
great
we're
time.
just
They have a
setting up
great
the
time.
most toxic Yuri.
Yeah.
Oh god,
We
actually.
really are.
Her and then Spite and
No.
just really toxic Yuri is what's happening.
I mean, unnamed isn't gonna get with Spite because she's not over Shifa.
That's fair.
I hope
I mean,
But-
she does hit on everybody.
this is true.
They might not be, but like,
Wait, what if Spite and Elizaveta end up getting together?
I
Toxic
actually
Yuri.
think Elizabeth might fix her, but it would be
No,
really.
that would actually be really cute, though. I would love that.
The problem,
It would
I
be
feel like the problem
terrifying.
there is that like, Pan and Elizabeth already struggled. Like, and like, I don't know how to say Spite's like the even farther out in the direction that was the reason the two Pan and Elizabeth clashed.
Yeah, Liza needs to not stop getting with violent, unstable people.
Yeah, it's her type, I guess.
Listen, some people they got
Girlie loves the red flag, I guess.
I should see, do we want to have Honorwing Berkut stay here, obviously, and just, like, keep coordinating the,
Oh, yeah.
cross?
He's gonna be coordinating the strike.
He's
Yeah. He's gonna trust the humanitarian efforts to you, but he's going to be on standby in case people need help.
Okay, I'm gonna
that
make
guy's
sure
also
that,
staying here. The Demolisher is staying here.
but we could drag them with. They'd be so useful.
No,
because the
because we're
Biomecha
not.
are the infected mechs are also going to.
They're staying
help
with the strike team.
Yeah, they're essentially another arm of the strike team.
yeah.
Hey, I have an important question. If the infected mechs end up getting eaten by the maw, is that gonna be a problem?
Does the Maw field demolishers after that happens?
We don't know what happens if that happens. No one
Okay.
actually.
So,
Because
I
it's software, right?
Yeah.
Like, does the maw
Sure.
absorb the software?
Liturgicode is like a stable object.
I mean, so I'm
Listen.
just gonna go ahead and, if we can, advise them to self-destruct, because also, right, like, if you're getting eaten by the maw, that is going to be preferable, 100%, I guarantee you fucking, it is going to be so much preferable
Right.
to being eaten alive by the maw.
Oh
No,
god.
this is fair.
Right.
I cannot stress that hard enough.
But we've already established that a single piece of one of the funky mechs that goes unaccounted for. So it has to be a very
If we want to, we could always
Complete
redeploy the funky
self-destruction.
mechs internally to hit the, come with us and, like, potentially act against the guard down here, if we want to.
I think if we're trying to make any sort of peace deal, bringing in one of these freak mechs is gonna make that harder.
Oh, the idea would be
So
that they'd stay out of sight, out of mind until, negotiations inevitably break down, and then we can go and engage.
And that's fair. I mean, I would rather have them go with the strike team and empower that force who is going to do.
Yeah, I think we'd assign them to the strike team. Could also make sure that
Yeah, I
they're
think the strike
operating
team
outside of
makes
the
sense
city.
to me.
Yeah.
That's just an option if we are genuinely worried about, like, something happening with them all consuming them, but I think if we just stress right through, like, hey, self-destruct before you die to the maw, because it's going to be better for everybody, and also, like, eject if you can, but, like, if you're in deep, it's just going to be a bad time.
Yeah.
It's if you as you say this to it, it's going to like give you like a little salute, a nod.
Bastion is packing
And
Cass
it's gonna sign something to you, so that you're not super clear what it's communicating in sign language.
Can I ask Baz?
Baz says, let's leave them to it. And as you turn away, Baz says, it said that no cost was too great for hope. I am worried about it.
Just gonna also go ahead and call over, potentially as they're leaving, right? Just also, no fear in running. If you guys have an opportunity and you need a break for it, you can make a break for the interior.
It like doesn't respond to that.
Your guys' mech is concerning. Like, in a lot of ways.
Alright, are we... The question is that are we ready to suit up and head out?
Yeah, Bastion has packed Cass in and is checking to make sure Cass is okay.
I wanted to say thank you, and also, if you need me, I'll be here. There's a limit to what I can do, but I can help as well. Let's hope. Just a weird word for Cass as a being that has not experienced linear time before. Cass says, let's hope it won't be necessary.
Yeah.
Quick question. Out of character. Can Cass be hosted on a mech?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, you should definitely, like, have Cass uploaded in the mech then, as opposed to just carried in the compartment.
I can do that. I have to figure out exactly what that looks like, but I can do that.
We can do the numbers logistics for that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a thing that was discussed.
Then if we're heading out, I'm going to thank you all for joining us for Divine Right of Kings.
No!
But there's an after credit sequence. So hold on for the after credit sequence. But for the moment, I'm so excited as we approach the cordon. Thank you all for joining us for Divine Right of Kings. That was an awesome session, y'all. I think that was, like, I joke about liking to run board meetings. That session is like such an encapsulation of all the reasons why I think it's really interesting to have characters sit down and make plans and figure out crises and talk to each other. I think that's super cool. Y'all are super cool. All your characters are cool. We've made such cool decisions over the course of this game, and it feels like coming to fruition, and I think it's beautiful. If you want to find out what happens next week when the situation continues to develop, we'll be here on the Twitch next week at 7 p.m. PST, and we would love to have you for as long as you'd like to join us. So grateful to everyone who has joined us. Gosh, y'all are wonderful. Let's see, what else? The VOD will be up on the VOD channel. It's under the Twitch, or it's the thing that the VOD's the channel you're watching if you're watching this later. I have a Blue Sky now. I don't post on it I'm still working on finding my rhythm, but I got one. So the Rattlebones is the Blue Sky. It's now a thing that exists. There'll be a link to it in the stuff eventually. What's another thing that's happening that I should plug? Plug showing yourself grace and kindness as you try to find community. It's a hard building community is a hard process, but also it can make amazing, miraculous things happen that we didn't even imagine, and it's worth it.
Also,
and
it helps you prepare for the maw.
Darn tootin'. Or any other ominous devouring force that's very scary and potentially very dangerous. And it's so good to have you all here. Thank you for being the community of this game. Y'all rock. All right, are we ready for the after credits?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, farewell, person in chat. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Okay, our after credits scene. It's a garbled transmission that only barely makes it through the cloud cover. Zooming in, zooming in, zooming in. Lots of static, and just through the cloud cover you hear something. Alert, this is Union Liberation Team Rosewater. We are here to support.
Oh, where are they touching down?
And thank you so much for joining us for Divine Right of Kings. It's been good. And we'll see y'all next week. Y'all are wonderful. That's our extra after credits. The Union Farfield team, the Union Liberation team is here.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, everyone. It's been good. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.